You saw before a familiar speech in American history presented by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Although Dr. King gave this speech almost 60 years ago, his actions still affect us today.
Welcome to 6 Minutes.
Today we take a trip back to the revolutionary decade of the 1960s.
Many things that people back then, including the famous speech you just saw, are still important today.
Along with Dr. King, the presidential debate, 60 Minutes, and the moon landing were just a few of the televised impacts of the 60s.
On to the earliest news around, Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech delivered on August 28, 1963.
His speech, focused on equality, was in the 60s, which was a peak of time of racial discrimination.
His speech sparked the idea of justice and equality for all. Because of MLK Jr., people put away their differences and started to stand together. And because of him, most of our problems have been solved.
Not true. Think of gender equality, religion, and other problems today.
True, we are still struggling today to put away our differences and realize we are unique.
Today, we will focus on gender equality, mostly equal pay.
On the topic of today, we celebrate MLK Day every January 21st to remind ourselves of our differences and remember how we can do the same as MLK and find the good in everyone.
He is a very important person who needs to be remembered throughout history. And on to the next topic.
JFK had a strong defense with increased hand motions, perhaps now with the visual cues too. People will be more engaged in what the candidates are saying and how it might affect them, rather than just tuning into the radio for a minute or two while cooking, for example.
Nixon appeared sickly compared to JFK in the debate, which might have changed people's minds as the live vote went on during the debate, swaying more towards JFK. Perhaps a new trend might be arising here.
Raised the question of leadership. On this issue, why do you think people should vote for you rather than the vice president?
Well, the vice president and I came to the Congress together. 1946, we both served in the Labor Committee. I've been there now for 14 years, the same period of time that he has. So that our experience in government is comparable. Secondly, I think the question is, what are the programs that we advocate? What is the party record that we lead?
The 2016 presidential debate was a controversial one, with GOP candidate Donald Trump up against Hillary Clinton representing the Democrats. Trump had much of an amusing look to some.
Even then, we saw the famous Trump wall surface, along with immigration policies from both sides, however more strict for the Republicans. Let's check out some important clips from the debate. Some on Twitter even nicknaming him the Orange Man for his orange appearance on television. That being said, he still had the popular vote on the live poll as the debate went on.
Economy since the Great Depression. And believe me, we're in a bubble right now.
60 Minutes is an iconic television show from the 1960s. It revolutionized the way people got their news in the 60s.
It paved a path for how many news shows are structured today. Many people were skeptical about this show at first, as it was different from everything on television at that point. But it now has one of the highest ratings of any primetime show ever.
This show is different because it informed people about the happenings around the world, no matter how brutal they were.
This show is still on today, and many people depend on it to get their daily news.
It was organized and was always truthful. On the first episode of the show, one of the anchors talked about how all of their coverage will report reality.
This relates in the present day because we are now fighting with other countries about going to Mars. Estimated in the year 2024, the U.S. will be able to send humans on our neighboring planet Mars. This will mark the progress we have made from the Apollo missions to what we will explore in the future.
Recently, SpaceX launched a new rocket, the Falcon Heavy, around the world. The Falcon Heavy is equally as important to the Apollo missions because it is delivering some of the most important payloads to scout other planets.
It is one of the most significant rockets in the world because it is the most powerful one, even more powerful than the Apollo 11 rocket.
This concludes the space section of this documentary.
Thank you for being with us on 6 Minutes, while we look at the legacy and the relation of these important events from the 1960s to today.
This concludes our 6 Minutes episode for today, and join us for our next episode, which we will be relating to the 1960s Sesame Street with our guest anchor Elmo.